Yes, indeed, Mary. I am on standby. And of course, for the front pages here, we have with us a very, very esteemed guest, Mr. Adedayo Kayode. He's a socio-political technocrat and also commentator. You're welcome once again, sir. Good to have you here.
It's my pleasure being with you this morning. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very fine. We're going to go straight into the papers. And this morning, I want to start with the Guardian newspaper this morning with these headlines here. Very interesting. First off, big one for the Guardian. Auto gas stalls as NNPC marketers bicker over 500 billion naira debt, protracted fuel cost. And then why Tinubu has not appointed a spokesperson is another headline. Nigeria's broadband penetration drops as telco loses 2.5 million voice customers. I wonder how. And NLC boycotts meeting as FGTUC seeks options out of Wednesday's strike. Now, this is hot on everybody's lips regarding the strike that is being expected for Wednesday. What other options could there be for the NLC and the TUC at this point?
Yeah, you see, strike in this part of the world has not been working. Because at the end of the day, you will see NLC going on strike for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Thereafter, they call it off without achieving anything. And to that extent, government definitely knows that each time they come around and they go on strike, at the end of the day, they will call it off. So why not adopting another strategy by holding government by the jugular? How do I mean? You always ask for minimum wage. You always ask for minimum wage. And then we tell you, okay, we increase your minimum wage. But that minimum wage that have been increased, to what extent will it be able to buffer?
That's
all right,
actually,
the effect.
That actually dovetails into a headline here for the Nigerian Tribune. It says subsidy removal, or rather, where is it now? TUC makes demand, FG may set up committee to review minimum wage. So that is in the plans.
Why should we even be talking of minimum wage when we know that there are other options? And this option, between you and me, I have been clamoring for it for the past, I think, 5 to 6 years. What do I mean? Stop asking for minimum wage. That minimum wage ought to have gone with Pa Umodu or Sumonu, Baba Sumonu, all right? What you need to be asking for these days is sustainable minimum living standard. That word sustainable must be in capital letters and underlined so that government will know any distortion in that sustainability will have to come back and reflect on whatever might have been signed.
Who's responsible for that sustainability you're asking?
What I'm
right
saying,
now?
if NLC had been asking for sustainable minimum living standard, okay, and agreement had been signed on that, before government do anything as regards tariff of electricity, pump price, the inflationary trend in the country, they will think twice.
Okay.
Because they know that any percentage increase in all those things will affect that sustainability, and they must come back to reflect such in that. So, I mean, any increase, people will not even be looking at, okay, come and give us.
So here's one thing, Mr. Adedayo. If you talk about sustainable standard of living, you must first have the amenities and the facilities that the people are living by or living with. Transportation, for instance, electricity and all of those, are those what you're asking the governments to put an eye on, make sure that people have access to these things and that therefore their standard of living is going to be better?
Before now, are we not having at least vehicles around moving us? We were having, and people were paying. But what I'm saying is, if we are paying 100 naira for maybe a trip from like Bega to CMS, all right, it's already embedded in that sustainability.
Yeah.
So if there is anything that is going to distort that sustainability, like 100 naira moving to 150, you know that 50 naira has distorted that sustainability. So that 50 naira must be reflected. They will go back and reflect it. So at the end of it, nobody will be asking for any palliative. All right, because already the template has been there. And the template to work it out, I mean, because of our time, I wouldn't want to go into details. But it has to do with, one, electricity tariff, pump price, availability of health services, and all that, down the economy.
Housing and everything.
Housing and everything.
All right, Mr. Didaya, let's move on now to the, let's see now what paper we're going to be moving on to. The Punch newspaper this morning, we have they touched on the NLC issue again. Subsidy NLC shuns FG meeting, electricity workers back strike, NLC faults negotiation team, Lagos Nasarawa moves state chapters join strike, TUC demands salary increase, we just talked about that, fuel importers seek equal access to Forex. And then at the top of the Punch newspaper, Senate queries Accountant General over 910 billion naira MDA's loan. And this one here, trapped funds, foreign airlines plan meeting with FG. We have the issue of the Nigerian carrier, the foreign airlines, the tariffs and everything that they're paying. What do you think this meeting would be about currently? You are an expert when it comes to aviation.
You see, any business is out to make profit. Mm-hmm. If you can recollect, I think about a year ago, Emirates Airlines packed up. Why? Because
and left Nigeria.
Their funds are being stashed in Nigeria. They couldn't move it. Why should you allow such to happen? Because when you are making business in Nigeria and you see that you are making profit, that profit is not yet a profit, because it's being stashed somewhere. It's not in your account, in your own country. So I think what is going to happen today at their meeting is going to be basically on how they will be able to retrieve their money that have been stashed.
Do explain
elsewhere.
As an expert, when you say it's stashed in Nigeria, how exactly do you mean?
It's just like as you are now. You are in TVC, working, and they got to pay for any service rendered. If your money remains in TVC and they say, okay, we are owing you, we know the money is there, but you cannot get that money home to put bread and butter for your family.
Okay.
I mean, will your family not be blaming you that, oh boy, what are you working for? In fact, your wife will start fighting you. Your kid will start fighting you. At the end of the day, what happens? You find it difficult coming to TVC. Because one, you won't get transportation fare to pay. If you ride in a car, you won't have money to buy your fuel. So, for goodness sake, why are you coming to TVC? So also, that analogy can be applied to what is happening.
We have very limited time here today, unfortunately. I really wanted us to talk about the Daily Trust issue regarding bandits killing 62 in Sokoto. That's their big headline. And in the Zamfara village.
Yeah,
but regarding the new dispensation and security, what we should expect, because this is a big topic. This is the Daily Trust headline here. You can find it on the front page of the Daily Trust. That's the only big headline. What do you think we have in store for security regarding the Tinubu regime?
Yes, you see, I will not know for now what he is having in security, aside from what he has talked about. What I want to see is him walking the talk. It is when we don't have it on our dailies as regards kidnapping or going to school to kidnap children or bandits harassing people in their villages and all that. I would say, yes, he is walking the talk. And what I'm expecting from the new president is as regards stopping all this incessant kidnapping, all right, killing and sacking people from their villages, and then all these bandits being given chieftaincy titles without anybody being brought to book. Let us see them being brought to book. Those names that are thrown at us as the leaders and the proponents of these activities in our country, bring them to book. Let us punish them so that we serve as deterrent to others.
Zadidaya, thank you very much. Always honoring our call. It's always a pleasure to have you here for our headline review. Thank you very much. If you come again, we'll be expecting you.
Yes, enjoy the rest of your day.
And you too. Thank you very much, sir. Always so polite. And of course, you have to stick around because we have more inside of Wake Up Nigeria. If you have a comment you'd like to make, use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We'll surely read it. We'll be back.